Hare Krishna, dear devotees. It's Chandravadna Chaitanya Das here, and welcome to Friday Night Kīrtan. So, this new week's theme, and we're just getting started with it, starting on Friday this weekend, is Steady in the Holy Name. So, we've been sort of taking this journey, and this past week, it's really all been about really taking refuge in the Holy Name. In other words, coming back to it and just really absorbing that energy of that steadiness that comes with coming back. Like you may leave for a time and then you come back to something, leave for a time and come back to something. I know personally I've been guilty in the past myself of being in situations where sometimes it's who really knows why, but like you get interested in something, and then something else comes along and takes your attention away from that thing and puts you into a different mode of being. And then, give it a little time, and then something else pops up and takes your attention and moves it in a completely different direction. But then every now and again, you might find, maybe a year or two goes by, or several years, maybe even, and then you decide to come back to something. So a perfect example of this might be like if you were a child studying like classical piano or some other instrument, and or maybe a martial art or something, and then all of a sudden, you get pretty invested in that craft or that activity, and then what do you know? Something comes along, something else gets your attention, and then you leave it behind. And then, as the old saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it, but you can always come back to it, right? But then learning it the second time may be a little easier because you've already got a little bit, or maybe you've got quite a bit of experience with it in the past. And then it's just about kind of like reviving that on some level. Well, the same can be said sometimes when it comes to like our devotion and, putting our faith and our attention in God and Krishna. And what does that really look like? Like our relationship might be like, very attached one moment, and then we may find ourselves, defocused and maybe attaching ourselves onto something else, maybe something quite, different, so to say. And really the key to kind of managing that in many ways is that whatever activity you get involved in, wherever you're at, you take Krishna along the journey with you. So if you're working a job and you get really kind of absorbed in that, make it all about Krishna. You're offering that to God. You're offering that service, that activity to God. But anyway, this Friday night, I want to teach you guys a new Mahā mantra tune. And then I'll probably just come on and do like maybe a little face video or something like that as we kind of get into the Friday Night Kīrtan spirit. And then of course tomorrow we'll dive into our rest and retreat, and then Sunday we'll move into our Sunday satsang and feast. So we got a busy weekend ahead of us. We've got quite a bit to cover. I have done a lot of work this week in preparation for this weekend in particular, because we've got several things kind of going on. We'll talk about some of those things here as we kind of get moving. But for the time being, I just want to really focus right now just on this here Mahā mantra tune. Now, this is something that's really great because we learned the Prabhupada melody this past week. And so hopefully you guys have been able to kind of use that and, be able to play that tune and really kind of get it in your music muscle, your muscle memory, whatever you want to call it, but to where you've been practicing it so much, you can you think it's easy now, right? And it's kind of like the magician doing magic, like when you're the spectator, or if you're just brand new to magic and you're learning maybe you've got a mentor and he's teaching you magic. When you're looking at the magic, it seems so phenomenal, right? It seems so like amazing. It's so attractive. It's so like interesting. But then as soon as you learn it and you've kind of mastered it, it's like, oh, that's so simple. That's so basic. And so I don't want you guys to kind of get that. I know sometimes, especially musicians that are really skilled in like theory and so many different things, they have a tendency to say, oh, that's really basic. I mean, but keep in mind that these basic tunes are really what, grew this movement, this Hare Krishna movement. And it's really what brought bhakti to the West and kind of made it spread more or less like wildflower, not wildflowers, but wildfires in so many different ways. So sometimes it's good to simplify and to break things down. So don't don't look at it as, don't be egotistical about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't like think, oh, so little of it. It's a very simple melody, but what I like to do though is when I'm learning a song, usually I learn it by ear. So I listen to the tune. So this particular melody is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. One of the reasons we're learning this one is because it really goes well with the Prabhupada melody. And this is actually a tune that is relatively popular. It's one that's been sung many times amongst devotees. And in particular, when it comes to like harinām parties. So like if you're doing like saṅkīrtana parties and stuff and you're out in the streets and you're having a good time, this is one of those kind of songs that you can really take to the streets and you can really share with people. And it's a lot of fun to play, and it's really, really simple also. There's 2 parts to it though, so let's learn the first part now. So if you'll remember, we are, I'll do this in piano just so that you can, if you're learning by ear a little bit, or if you're wanting your ear trained a little bit on it, maybe you'll kind of get it more. We're in this key of B flat major. So we're still in this B flat major scale. So B flat is right here. And so the major scale is. Whoops. Hope you guys caught that. So it's. So you take this finger here, thumb on a re, and then sa with your index. So that is the key that we're playing in, key of B flat. Kind of a fun key, but it's also really great because a lot of people sing in this particular key. Turn this up just a little bit. So the way the song goes is like this. So we're on ga, 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 re, sa, ma, 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 ga, re, sa. And you can kind of play that out with your ear, so you'll get the timing just by knowing the melody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So. So it's like we're hitting the key several times, but when we play the organ, it's actually going to be more like a drone. So it won't be as having to remember how many times do I have to hit that key. Really, it's better just honestly to go by your ear. So. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, so that's the first part. Now the second part is pretty easy also. So as far as our fingering goes in the key of B flat, we have 2 different fingering positions. The first one is we're just kind of here. And then we'll take an index to this one. And then this is position number 2. And then you can take this finger here, your third finger, or thumb. Okay, so that's a fingering position for number 1, for the first part of this. Now the second part of it is going to be on your pa. Pa, 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 da, ma, 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 ga, to take this back over here. Ba, 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 da. And then ma, 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 ga, re, sa. Okay? So, and of course, to put it to tune, so your first part is going to be Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then your second part is going to be Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So those two parts. So you got your kind of your lower, and then kind of your little bit higher, and then you can come back to your lower. So that was with the Prabhupada melody, and then you can, just to kind of give you kind of an idea of like how it kind of all plays in together. So this week you could actually benefit yourself and actually do two tunes. You could do the Prabhupada melody, which I highly recommend, and then you can also do the this two part. So you could do the two part on that. All right, so we've kind of got this. Let us go to the organ or the harmonium thing, and I'll show it to you kind of like with the singing and stuff involved. And we'll kind of do our kirtan here with this. So of course you would have your hand on the bellows, doing your bellows, kind of controlling the breath of the harmonium, the breath of the kirtan. And you would have like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then you can go back to the Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then you can do Prabhupada tune if you wanted to. Hare Krishna. No. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, devotees, so that is the melody for this tune. So if we look at, like, if we want to learn if you prefer to play harmonies instead of the melody, I think melody is good for right now because it kind of gives you if you do the ga 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 re sa, ma 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 ga re sa, and then if you go to pa 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 ma, pa 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 da ma ga 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 ma ga 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 re sa. Kind of mess that up, but it's what it is. So this here is a good way of if you want to just do harmonies. Once you get the melody down, if you want to simplify things with just harmonies, if you're in a kīrtan, sometimes that's kind of cool. Otherwise, you might miss a note or something and kind of throw yourself off, and that might be hard to get back on track. Whereas when you're playing chords and you only have like 3 or 4 chords, 5, 6 chords, sometimes a little easier to remember those chords, and because you have less selection, I guess, you know. But I don't know. I like playing melody and chords actually, and typically I play a lot of melody, especially when learning by ear. And then I kind of convert that into usually chords or melody and chords. And sometimes I add some flourishes and different things, you know, just from a musical perspective. But the way to look at this is, so we're starting on ga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So this D right here, we're on this D. So in our scale, so you could do your D here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and then do your B here. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare. Oh wait a minute. So you could do your Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So this note here would be this, but we could actually take this up on the top. So we like we did with the Prabhupada melody, we could actually take this D flat, or I'm sorry, D sharp, our ma, our tivra ma right here. We could take this and do that. So I think you could do the D here. You could take the D right here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But we'd have to kind of play around with that a little bit, I think. So maybe this isn't the best song for this, but I don't know, let's play around with it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Hare. So then you can do Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So you could do B flat like that. So you could do your you could just I don't really like that, but we could do like, so we could do Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. No, that's So if we're on the, maybe instead of doing the, we'll do the minor on the D. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that kind of makes sense. You can do that a little bit if we wanted to. And then on the second part is pa 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 da. So we know that part already. So we have pa, which our 1 4 5 would be this. 1 3 5. So our 5 is going to be this. So we can use the C right here. So we could say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So we're just here for a second. You can do it like that. That doesn't sound too bad. I like it actually. And so if you kind of learn that, you could play around with it a little bit. So as far as fitting our chords into it, we kind of know what our chords are because we've been studying kind of the B flat scale for a little bit. So we know we have the B, we have our B here, we've got our D minor here, major there. So I'm just playing the minor notes. I'm leaving this fifth off because I just think it sounds better when I'm on the first part of the song. And then on the next part is because I'm already here. So it's Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. B. Hare Ram, and then Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then the second part is Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's pretty simple. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you can actually play it like that. And we are stretching our fingers a little bit when doing this. Nice thing about the harmonium keyboard, it's not a piano, so it's not like we have to go too deep or too wide. So anyways, that's kind of the tune for today. So if you want to just kind of start off simple, kind of really drown in the melody, which I recommend, do the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you can sing that if you have some kartals. You could do the dun 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 dun. So you could do, but we're doing the harmonium, so you can just do so Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With the chords you could do, then if you want to take it up a little bit, you could, because we're going to start on this D. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So you don't really have to do too much. And then you can go back to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama. So then back, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. There you go. And then the second part would be the Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. And then you can just start on beat. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare. And then you're right back again. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. You're back again. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Back again. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's very simple. You're just playing those chords. So and you've got that nice melody come along with it on that second part. So, you can practice doing your Mahā mantra. You can then practice doing the second variation. And guys, we will practice this more. We'll continue to actually play this song today, tomorrow, Sunday. And the reason we do that is so that we have kind of this we're putting the practice in. That's like we're learning something new today, taking it easy, learning our melodies, doing what we need to know. And then from there, we're actually then building on top of that. And then we're actually using harmonies and everything. And then it's just really getting it to where we're able to utilize it, to actually sing the Mahā mantra and then really start to put your heart into it. So today is more kind of technical. It's when you're doing technical things, you've got kind of your conscious mind is really focused on it, less on Krishna per se, but just remember everything we're doing is for Krishna. So we're offering it nonetheless to Krishna. So keep that part in mind. And then as you start to practice a little bit more and keep your warming up going, what you'll find is that all of this really does start to kind of make more sense. And you'll feel that your devotion really starts to come out and it develops. And so that's really what we're doing now. So this is about, this week, we're really focusing on this concept of being steady in the holy name. So this is about steady practice, regular routine. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks here in 2026 so far, end of January and now into February. And now we are just kind of getting into the steady flow of kind of a routine, where we've been doing something new, experimenting. Sometimes we wing it a little bit, but the objective is to get to a nice steady flow of consistency so that, it's just like when you're doing your malas, your japa in the morning, you have your mala. When you first start, that first round of 108 may be very intimidating. You're like, oh, this is going to take so long. And then, 10 minutes goes by. It seems like nothing at all. Just like with this, you might say, oh, this is a new tune. It's a little bit more challenging. I'm used to the Prabhupada melody. I've been practicing that all week. It's become kind of second nature, and it's something that I just really like. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But you could do like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare And then you get to the new tune, it's a little bit different, right? It's Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Whoops. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And the good news is you can use this second tune and you can go quite fast with it, double speed, or you could just go half speed or normal speed, I would say. So you could do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you can experiment a little bit with the tune, and you could do like half speed, fast. You could go even slower. You could do like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if you want to enrich it with a harmony, you can do that even. So so you might do like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you could add the chords into it as well. So that's a little bit. So that's really the tune. I hope that you guys have got it. So if you're wanting to know the sa, the sa re ga, like your notes, kind of what we've been practicing, or I've been encouraging you to study, is the sa re ga ma pa da ni da pa ma re ga sa. So ga re sa. I'm sorry. So it's sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da pa ma